Hey, so this is a video that it's been on my mind recently because there was this topic from Philip Posey about mindless monsters or mindless encounters and basing encounters on XP and stuff like that. And then that got me thinking a little bit. And then there was Rodney Game Master Toolbox, and Rodney is like one funny fella, really funny fella. And so he he posted a picture on the Brigade Facebook page, and it's called Random Encounter, and man, it's like a moose, a moose, and there's like a whale. There's like a whale coming out from the bushes, and it's written in big like Random Encounter. That's really funny. I was like cracking laughing, alone at home. And I was like, man, I gotta do a video on Random Encounters, because I was like, man. And I talked to Null Inquisitor, and I said, what about Random Encounters? And he said that, and he described me the way he does it. Sometimes, when he plays, like he said, and if I lack some imagination, I just unwrap a random encounter, put it back there, I'm done. If I don't know what I'm gonna do, or if the story gets stuck somewhere, take out a random encounter and done. Magic. And I'm like, really? Okay, let's talk about this. So I asked myself, what's wrong with random encounters? I've used them many times. Most people use them all the time. Like every time they play, there are at least one random encounter. Some people have a rule of thumb, like we need one random encounter by session. Some people have those kinds of rule of thumbs and stuff. And I'm like, what's wrong? What is it that doesn't rub me the right way? Like Roomslinger says. Well, I had to give it a shot, because I was thinking about this, and I felt that Philip Posey in his video about encounter based on XP had something like that somewhere behind in his head, or some. It was like some kind of a frustration for me, or maybe for him. I don't know. I don't want to talk about him, but there was some kind of a frustration about the fact that it's meaningless, But now, I hear you talk right now. I hear you screaming, and Null Inquisitor did on the chat. He was like, yeah, but it's realistic, you bump into random encounters in real life all the time, and that's kind of like what life is about, isn't it? Like there is random stuff that happens all the time. I am driving right now. I might gonna get into an accident or get a police chase or whatever. I don't know. It's random. So okay, well, I get that. I understand that. It's obviously. But as a player, in the context of a game, there is something that gets annoying. And it comes down to this old conversation of mine from last year about seeing through the shroud. The problem is that there is different ways of doing random encounters. You can, that it all depends on the delivery for me. And I'm gonna make it simple. If I feel that this random encounter is based on it's based on laziness or lack of preparation, or is based on, and as a player I feel like, oh, this is a random encounter, so I cannot die. It's just to pass the time, to make us roll some dices. I'm done. I don't have fun with this. I will not have fun with this. So this is tricky, because check this out. The logic is simple. A random encounter is not meant to kill you. Is not meant to be important. Most of the time is about minions. So it's just like a moment for everybody to look cool and shine and roll some dice and spend the time. Have fun fighting. But most of the time the GM will play the minions in a way that he's not gonna kill his PCs on a random encounter. Nobody wants to die on a random encounter. I don't want to start again on the death topic, but when I did my research about that, like 2 years ago, most people said I want to have a significant death. Random encounter are not significant. It's meaningless. It's random. It's like fighting wolves, dire rats. It's not part of the story. It's like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying. So what I want to say about this is, since we all agree that as a GM you're not gonna kill your PC on a random encounter, and since it's kind of like obvious when it's a random encounter, when it's poorly done, well, we start to reach a point where now we kind of like all agree that it becomes just a reason to either roll dice, pass the time, or trying to make us look cool. So again, there's nothing wrong with all that, because when you play to pass the time, you play to have fun, you play to look cool, you play to roll the dice. So it's kind of like natural. That's the reason why it's so popular. Now, of course, it's easy, a random encounter. When you're a GM, you've been prepping, you've been doing your thing, and then you at some point you need to structure the stuff, and you put things there. Everything cannot be meaningful, So it's easy. Random encounter it's kind of like part of the game. The problem with random encounter is that it's there's a way to do them. Like, for a guy like me, like, when if I'm stuck into like an encounter, and I know that it's just that I'm not gonna die, and I know that it's meaningless, and I know that, and I feel like it's the GM that he's done with his preparation, or he didn't have the time, or didn't took the time, or whatever, or just lazy, and now I'm stuck in like an hour or 45 minutes of random encounter that's just boring as hell, so that's why random encounters are so tricky. Now there's another kind of random encounter, because if I look at Torchbearer, for example, it's all about that. It's you roll in random encounter tables. So now it takes away the arbitrary choice of the GM, takes away the human being ethics behind it, the ethical structure of experience that is behind it. It cannot be a lazy choice. It's part of the rules. It's part of the game. Now we have to roll on that table. It's not gonna be a choice not to kill from the GM, because it's a crazy ass monster that nobody wanted to to fight against, so now it's urgent, so now it's dangerous. You see, there's a huge difference with games that are based on random tables, on which you roll randomly to get what you have to to get what you get, kind of thing, and an arbitrary choice made from the GM where, okay, I have no more ideas here, and there's half an hour left. I'm gonna throw a random encounter to you, and we want to leave on a good note. So I'm gonna end up guide it a little bit so you don't die. That's the big difference I want to talk about random encounter. That's the thing I hate so much, and at the end of the day, it's all come down to the delivery. I mean, if the GM is really good with the narration and the descriptions, he's gonna make it feel meaningful. So I'm not gonna see through the shroud. But if it's just like just throw some stuff and see, oh, you have 5 kobolds coming out of the bushes, then I'm like, all right, can we just fast forward it? Can we just go home? It's just give me my XP kind of thing. It's because I'm not gonna die. And you know it, and we know it, and we all know that that if you kill me, it's gonna be boring. Your game's gonna be done, over. I'm not gonna come back, and all that. So it's just, that's the problem. That's why random tables are great. They take away the choice. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I appreciate I appreciate your position on that. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, and thanks Rodney for this amazing pick. All right, talk to you soon.